Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pastor Bruce. Welcome to my Sunday morning podcast sermon. Today is September 24th, 2017, and I want to talk to you about the man Jesus. Vitally important to understand. You see, the Bible gives us a moral and an ethical code for us to live by, but do we live by it? I don't think so. I don't think we might try, but we really don't live by that moral and ethical code because we don't understand it. We don't understand who inspired that. Oh, well, that was Jesus, the Son of God. Yeah, well, okay, get a grip. All right? That's not the case. I want to talk about Jesus the man because Jesus the man inspired people around him. Jesus the man gave people the confidence to do what it is that they had to do. And he never indulged in self-pity. Get over yourself. He never criticized. Now, Jesus was never in a hurry. He had time to comfort his fellow men as he passed by. Now, understand that. We are so busy today, thank you, business, world, forcing us to have to work two jobs and the business of not being around the family, not taking time out for yourself. You see, for you millennials who don't understand this, there used to be what's known as the blue law. And the blue law was Sunday, meaning that your business, unless it was absolutely necessary, such as pharmacies, hospitals, police departments, firehouses, everyone else had off. You could take time off. Take time to stop in hurrying about. Take time for your family. Take time to reflect upon who you are and what you are about. And yet, we destroyed that law. We open businesses 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. We got people on low income having to work two jobs in order to make ends meet. So we're constantly in a hurry. We don't have time. And we see that by the generous donations that people give. Well, I can't get involved myself, so I'll give a donation. It's so much easier to do it that way. And that's the sad part. We are in a hurry. And Jesus tried to tell us with who he was that we never needed to be in a hurry. Because Jesus was never in a hurry. He had time to comfort his fellow man as he passed by. And he always made his friends feel at ease. He was charming. He was a charming listener. He never engaged in the meddlesome probing of the souls of his associates as he comforted hungry minds and ministered to thirsty souls. The recipients of his mercy did not so much feel that they were confessing to him as that they were conferring with him. They had unbound confidence in him because they saw he had so much faith in them. So I have to ask you, how are you with people? Are you like Jesus Christ? If you're a Christian, if you profess to be a Christian, are you like this with people? Can they confer with you instead of confessing to you, especially you pastors and priests out there? Do they feel because you have threatened them with sin and the hell and damnation, are they compelled to walk in and confess to you? Or do they come in and confer with you about what they've done? You see, that's the difference between Jesus and man. Man has distorted the true teachings of Jesus so much that it's become boring. It's become uninteresting. Oh, well, we know Jesus died on the cross for our sins. Yeah, and he went to heaven and he came back. He rose again after 3 days, ascended into heaven, sits at the right hand of the Father. Thank you very kindly. We appreciate it. We know that. And yeah, I know if I confess my sins, I'll go to heaven. If I don't confess my sins, I'll go to hell. Yeah, come on, people. Come on. The same stuff over and over and over again. Now, I know that the Bible is a good book to teach you moral and ethical code, But you need to learn the life of Jesus and what Jesus was like so you can walk in the same path. And believe me, that we're not doing it today. And we're losing more footing because of our attacks on other people. You say, well, we don't attack other people. Yeah, we do. We attack the LBGT community, don't we? They're sinners. They're evil. They're no good. They're deviants. And so they attack back. And they cause fear in the hearts of Christians so that the Christians don't want to go be associated with the church anymore. And I don't blame them. Christians shouldn't be involved with a church or acknowledge a pastor who puts people in damnation and says that they are sinners. You see, they forgot the whole true story about what Jesus is all about. That's called love. And Jesus, in this section I read to you, Jesus loved men so much and so wisely that he never hesitated to be severe with them when the occasion demanded such discipline. He frequently set out to help a person by asking for help. In this way, he elicited interest, appealed to the better things in human nature. Do pastors do that when they condemn the LGBT community? Do they create problems instead of solving problems? Now, Jesus spread good cheer everywhere he went. Can you imagine being a strong, positive soul to go out there and greet everybody? Now, I'm going to, it may sound ridiculous, but I'm going to equate the LGBT community with the lepers. Nobody wanted to go near the lepers. They were sick. They were possessed by the devil and all these other stupid things that were said about them back then. Yet Jesus went to the lepers, didn't he? And he treated them with love, just like he treated everybody else. And had the whore, Mary Magdalene. They were going to stone in the streets. He didn't turn his back on her. He walked up and said, "Ye without sin cast the first stone." And then they all walked away, and Mary Magdalene followed him. She could have easily gotten up and walked away, said, "Thanks a lot for your help, I appreciate it," and walked away. But because Jesus spread goodness and cheer, because he had such a gracious and gracefulness about himself, because his friendliness, which emulates from a love-saturated soul, came out to her, she followed him just like everybody else. And he didn't say, "Follow me." He didn't say, "Get your butt over here on my train. We're going down the Soul Train track and we're going to work together." He said nothing like that. After he got them to stop stoning her, he turned around and walked away, and she followed. When he met the woman at the well, the Samaritan. Did he turn his back on her? Did he say, "Oh, you're a Samaritan, I can't talk to you"? He spoke to her, and it shocked her. "Who are you to talk to me?" It shocked her because nobody ever did that before. And she went back and told her people about this man, Jesus. Jesus was about love. Why? Because he teaches us that we should be like the Father. And the Father had unconditional love for his brother, for every man, woman, and child on this earth. Jesus had that same understanding, and he manifested that same love for every man, woman, and child. And that's what he wants us to do. And he took time out to be with people, to talk to people. He took time out to listen to what they had to say. And people became so impressed by him, so guilt-ridden because of their sins, that instead of confessing, they conferred with him. And he relieved them and got rid of their self-pity. And they followed him just by talking to him. Okay? Now, Jesus never seemed to be curious about people. And he never manifested a desire to direct, manage, or follow them up. Now, basically what that line right there says is micromanagement. He never did that. He inspired people and then left them. And from whatever happened after that, that was up to him. In other words, what we say today is plant the seed, and that's with his love, his compassion, his understanding of what man was all about. He planted a seed and walked away, and he never micromanaged. Jesus loved men so much and so wisely. Like I said, he never hesitated to be severe with them when the occasion demanded. The master, as they call him, could discern saving faith and gross superstition of a woman who sought healing by touching the hem of his garment. Now, this is a little take on the parable or the story about the woman who was bleeding for 12 years, and she went to ask Jesus to heal her, and all she could do was touch the hem of her garment. Now, according to the story, they tried for 12 years to heal her from her bleeding, and they couldn't. But just because they touched the hem of his garment, she was healed. Now, that's what they end with. Okay, look at the glory and the power of Jesus, that this is what happened. But if you read the rest of the story in the Bible, Jesus said, "Who touched me?" And they said, "Sir, Master, we're being pressed by the crowd. Anybody could have touched me." He says, "No, someone touched me. I felt the energy. In some cases, I felt the force leave me." The energy. That's what it's all about, people. Do we have the time to sit down and build up the energy? People say you got to go to church. You don't got to do anything. You should go to church to build up your spirit. As Jesus went into the garden to pray, to build his spirit, he spoke directly to the Father to build his energy up so he could go out and show that positive attitude continuously throughout the day. Now, I said Jesus spread good cheer everywhere he went. He was full of grace and truth. You can't live like that 24/7. You've got to restore your energy. And that's what church is about. If church is going to be positive in your faith. If not, find a group of people who believe like you do and pray together and build your spirit, build your energy back up to go out there for another week. In some cases, maybe another 2 days, and then get together again. But you have to show the good cheer. You have to show the grace. You have to show the love. And it has to come from a love-saturated soul. Because you feel what Jesus is teaching you. What is the first commandment? To love one another as the Father loves you. And the Father loves you unconditionally. Ladies and gentlemen, to go out there day after day after day, trying to show love and mercy and kindness to every individual you come in contact with, okay, is a drain on who you are. And then you have to work a 40-hour work week, and then you might have to get a part-time job doing something else in order to make ends meet. So you don't have the time to go out there and meet every individual, and you don't have the time to go into church to build or gather with a group of people to build that energy inside of you, and you lost to the world. Jesus knows that. Jesus knows that. Jesus believes in who we are. He believes that we will do the right thing. And because of that, he is out there waiting for us to regain who we are. Most of the really important things which Jesus said or did seem to happen casually as he passed by. So understand that you don't have to go out looking for it. There was so little of the professional, well-planned, or the premeditation in the Master's earthly ministry. He dispensed health and scattered happiness naturally and gracefully as he journeyed through life. It was literally true. He went about doing good. Because, ladies and gentlemen, he didn't rush. He didn't turn his back on people. He listened to people as they conferred with him instead of confessing with him. And he taught them how to resolve their own issues and not live in self-pity. Can you do that? If you call yourself a follower of Jesus Christ, if you call, well, I won't say that. I'll say if you call yourself a Christian, can you do that? Followers of Jesus might be able to. And you know who the good people are, don't you? When you walk into a meeting, or you're walking through the mall, or you're in church, there are certain people that just stand out. They don't do anything special. They just stand out. And you want to get to know these people. And you find out that, gee, they're great. Great people. I used to use the analogy about two models, because models are beautiful, of course. Jesus was a beautiful soul. That's why I relate models. But one you walk up and go, oh, you were so good in that shoot or layout that I saw on the mic. Yeah, thanks, fine. Appreciate it. You want an autograph? And the other one that you walk up to and they treat you like a person. They talk to you like they know you. And they thank you for your comments. And they smile. And the glow of self-confidence and love that's inside of them spreads out to you. And you feel more important because this person noticed you compared to the first model. They could be bothered by you. Actors are like that as well. They don't bother me, okay? You want my autograph, it'll cost you $10. Get out of here. I don't have time for you. And then they go out and they spread their sometimes political views, which may not be correct. But this is what happens within our society. We have become so busy. We have people act as though they are more important than anybody else. So we call them stars. And we idolize them. For you Christians, I have to go back to the first commandment in the Ten Commandments. I am your God. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not create any image of anything in heaven above, seas beneath, earth below. In other words, there are no idols, people. There's God the Father. Pay attention to him through the teachings of Jesus Christ. Not because you're going to heaven, not because it's the right thing to do, but because you will feel better than before you do all of this. And if you start to get weak, if you start to feel that you can't do it for another day, gather together with some people or go to church and build your spirit back up to do the earthly ministry that God wants you to do, to love one another. And just go about your everyday life by being good. That is the greatest mission that you have right there. Go about your daily life and be good. If a child falls down, help them up. If a woman needs to cross the street and is having a hard time, help her across the street. I mean, I know that's associated with Boy Scouts, but that's it. Do good. Do good. If you pass by a guy who looks like he hasn't eaten for a week, stop and get him a bagel and a cup of coffee and hand it to him if you're going to work. If you're near McDonald's or something, go in, get him a hamburger and a drink. Give him a Happy Meal. Just say, have a good day. You don't have to say, do you love Jesus or anything like that. Just have a good day. Just by being good manifests the emotions of gracefulness, graciousness, and graciousness is the aroma of friendliness, which emulates from a love-saturated soul. That's what I want you to have, a love-saturated soul. Love one another, people. That's the teachings of Jesus Christ. I don't mean climb into bed with them. I don't mean do things sexually with them. I don't care if you're LGBT community or not. Love one another. And the LGBT community is so angry at the Christian world that they will attack Christians on everything that the Christians believe. You got to stop that LGBT community, especially if you're a Christian. And if your community is not going to stop that, if your community is going to continue to attack, then you need to leave the community. You need to go with people who believe like you do, sharing the love, grace, understanding of Jesus Christ. Jesus didn't care who you were. Christians, you shouldn't care who your fellow brothers and sisters are. He said, love the sinner, not the sin. We all turn away. When I was a child, I did childish things. You remember? Do you still do childish things? Do you still shoot wads of rolled up paper with a straw? Do you put gum in children's girls' hair? Do you pick on people? These are childish things. Do you do that? Do you run around the playground and swing on swings and play on the monkey bars? These are childish things. Do you still do that? Of course not. You need to grow up. That's what Jesus teaches us. As we grow up, we are to love one another. We are to be sympathetic and show sincere concern for those who are less fortunate. And I don't care what the color of your skin is. There are those that are less fortunate in all races around the world. But I have to go along with Trump. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to rebuild the American spirit in order for us to shine for the rest of the world to look at and say, we want to be like America. Just as Christians should say, we want to be like Jesus. When we shine to the rest of the world, we send out a message. Goodness, kindness, love, understanding are the ways of the world. Follow the beliefs in America. You have to understand this, please, people, because the world is running to us. We're not running to the world. You don't see people escaping America, asking for asylum in other countries. You don't see them leaving in waves of hundreds to move into another country and take up citizenship in another country. You don't see that. Americans know this is the best life that there is. The world knows it, and they want part of it. But we're building our country now on hate, lies, and deceit, and we've turned away from Jesus Christ. I've said it in my daily broadcast. Nancy Pelosi called praying vile speech. Vile, venomous speech is actually what she said. Prayers. Can you believe that? She hates Christianity. She hates the belief in God, but she brings it up because she knows that some of the people who voted for her are Christians. But she hates it. And didn't she say just a couple of weeks ago that if you don't believe in abortion, you shouldn't be part of the Democratic Party? Because the Democratic Party believes in abortions? They don't care who they kill, people. And they'd rather kill the unborn. And they're killing more of the unborn white children than they are the unborn blacks or Latinos. So the white race in this country is being destroyed by two things. One, because the intermixing between races, which is supposed to happen, but the other is because we're not having as many white children. So you have to understand, first and foremost, if you're going to show love and compassion, it has to be towards the unborn child. I don't care what color you are. You made a mistake. You had an affair. Get over it. Tell whoever the father is. Tell whoever you're with. And get over it. Have the child. Don't abort the child. I've said it before, I'll say it again. That how do we know we didn't kill off the baby through abortion that could have come up with an alternative fuel source to stop us from using fossil fuels? How do we know we didn't kill the baby who grew up to find the type of engine that can get us from here to the moon in a couple hours, or to Mars, or to other planets? How do we know that we didn't kill the baby who grew up, who could grow up and cure AIDS or MS? See, we don't. As the old saying is, we've cut our nose off to spite our face. You see, and when the Democratic Party runs around, I'm getting political and I hate to do that, but when the Democratic Party runs around saying we should approve abortion, abortion is the way to go, continue to abort your children, we don't know what we've destroyed other than we've destroyed a child of God, a brother and sister to all of you. And in 30 million abortions in this country, ladies and gentlemen, that's not goodness. We don't spread goodness and cheer when we have abortions. And our graciousness is not the aroma of friendliness. And it doesn't emulate from a saturated soul, a love-saturated soul. It's from hate. It's from lies. It's from deceit. And that's how our country is going. Now, whether you believe in Donald Trump or not, believe in his message. Make America great again. Build up that spiritual feeling inside of us so that we can emulate what Jesus is all about, to show good cheer, love, mercy, kindness. For all of you on the left, that's what you want anyway, isn't it? You just want to do it your way. Why not come to the center and do it the way Jesus wants us to do? To love one another as God the Father loves us unconditionally. And if you do that, you're going to stop the protest marches. You're going to stop the hate speech. And you're going to sit there and listen to the news and go, hey, stop it. What you're saying is ridiculous. We don't want to hear it anymore. And the news will go back to being the news. The Democrats will fade away into the night because nobody wants to hear from them anymore. Because of what? Goodness, love, respect, kindness. That's what it's all about, people. That is the teachings of Jesus Christ. And we need to manifest genuine sympathy and show sincere compassion. News media doesn't do that, nor does the Democratic Party. While compassion was boundless, his sympathy was practical, personal, and constructive. That's how we have to be. Practical, personal, and constructive. And in doing that, you'll start to walk the same steps or the same life as Jesus Christ, and that's important. You have to be, as the Bible tells us, be like Jesus. As your pastors and your priests tell us, be like Jesus. Walk the path of Jesus Christ. It's a difficult one, people. It really is. Because you have to show goodness and kindness every day. I thank you for listening. God bless. Take care, and we'll see you next Sunday.